Well, I'll tell you what, I think we're going to start this deal. Welcome to 1111 in the Garden. We're missing Elena Gunter today. She is out in Ghost Ranch in New Mexico, which I've never been, but I've heard about it for a long time, and it sounds like a beautiful place. So, I don't know, maybe I'll get to go sometime. But maybe she's watching. Hope you're having a sweet time out there, Elena. We're going to start this service with a wacky, wacky song, y'all. Oh, my gosh. Kagan found this tune. I don't know how she did it, but it's from that, that group called Up With People? Y'all remember that? So it's one of their songs. So it sounds exactly like that. So we're going to sound like that. So it's fun, though. And lyrically, it's spot on. So here we go. Come on, y'all. Let's get hippy dippy. We all depend on someone else depends on you. Everybody needs everybody giving. I need you to need me, and you do too. A mirror needs reflection, a light needs night to shine. Everybody needs everybody giving. I need you to need me, and you do too. Shoemaker makes the shoe fits the dancer. Dancer does his thing to the song the singer sings. People clap their hands to the beat the rhythm brings, and we all live together. Yes, we all live together. We all depend on someone else depends on you. Everybody needs everybody giving. I need you to need me. You do too. Lumberjack fells the trees, they go to the miller. Paper from the mill makes 100,000 things, like birthday cards and books, and a note the postman brings. And we all live together, yes, we all live together. We all depend on someone else depends on you. Everybody needs everybody giving. I need you to need me, and you do too. Everybody needs everybody giving. I need you to need me, and you do too. I need you to need me. You do too. Come on. Isn't that not crazy? Truth. That's gonna be stuff in y'all's head like all week, I promise. It's the biggest earworm.
Good morning. My name is Bill Lanford. I'm not Sharm Robarts. Sorry about that. And welcome to all our attendees out in the land of TV and Facebook and whatever out there. Appreciate you joining us. And now, if you will, let's all read the Welcome Candle by Rumi. We're going to wait for the guys to put it up here, so thank you. Come, come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, it does not matter. Ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, even if you have broken your vows 1,000 times, come yet again.
Now, good people, we're going to stand and sing a song that Lydia is going to lead. It is a hymn that we have completely rewritten, bro. That's right.
Sing with me.
We hope you like it, and we most certainly hope that you will join in and sing with us, please. All
nation, give heed to the cry. Voices of suffering fill the white sky. Take as your neighbor both stranger and friend, praying and striving their hardship to end. Wake now my conscience with justice thy guide. Join with all people whose rights are denied. Take not for granted a privileged place. God's love embraces the whole human race.
Strong work, y'all. Now, at this time, we want to encourage you to offer one another a sign of peace. And come on up here and bring your offering to these buckets, these wicker baskets, and fill them like over the top. So, ready, go.
Ready, set, go.
Claire, Kirk, come on.
Morning, good morning, good morning. Oh no, y'all, we have visitors today. That simply will not do. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, we have to show the people that we're here, that we're happy to be here. Good morning, my name is Kagan Parker. Welcome to 1111 in the Garden, and thank you to those of us who are joining us online. Thanks to all the new faces today as well. It's good to see you guys. This is awesome. Does everybody have one of these extra long pieces of paper today? Yes, okay. So it is extra long because I put the sacred text on the front, and I wanted you to have it all because it's a doozy today. But on the back, we've got lots of really exciting things happening. Wine and Wishful Thinking is going to be this Tuesday. If you're up for some wine and some strange conversation, we've got you. On Monday, from 6:30 to 8 p.m., we're reading Braiding Sweetgrass. So we'll have our book club, and we're up to some really interesting things. We did a grounding session our first meeting. We did meditative breathing this next time. I don't know what we're going to get into tomorrow, but it should be entertaining. So come on out if you can. We've also got Monday Musers that's begun. That's with Reverend Mike Marshall. He's fantastic. If you've never met him, highly encourage it. And then our potlucks. Did anybody go to potluck on Wednesday? Oh. I also was not there. So that's okay. We'll try again this week. But potluck is supposed to be a wonderful time. We've got about the United Methodist Church that's being provided after dinner, how we got the Bible, and then an evening of yoga with Miss Linda Blanchard. So it's a wonderful time to be in community with our mother church, hang out with our wider community, and get to know some things. On the other side of all the events, I wanted to again point out our UMCOR QR code. So that is the way that the Fort Worth United Methodist Church and the wider United Methodist system is aiding in the flood relief and all other tragic disasters as well. So I just wanted to kind of make a note to that, because I feel as if we get further and further away from that, it kind of fades from our memory, and we might, be moving on with our own lives, but that is still a really huge reality for a lot of people, and we'd like to stay, connected with them in spirit and mind and effort. So wanted to point that one out. We're doing something weird today. We're not doing it yet, but I wanted to make sure all my volunteers were here. If you volunteered on Monday to come up on stage later, can you raise your hand? I need 4. So 1, I think Amy got volunteered, sorry about that. 3. Is there a 4th person that would volunteer today? Let's see. Wonderful, 4. Okay, so when I call you guys up later, we've got something fun happening. But for now, we'll be moving into our Kairos time. And if you're new with us, this is our moment to be centered with one another and kind of become present with the space that we're in this time and the opportunity that we have to be in community together. So we'll open with a song just to get us settled, and then we'll have a meditation led today by my favorite person ever, Miss Cynthia Powell.
In the midst of the morning, we open to all of the gifts of the day. We open our hearts
That was lovely. Testing. There we go. That was lovely. Thank you. Good morning. I'm Cynthia Powell, and I am honored to be guiding Kairos this morning. As Kagan, the wonderful Kagan, noted, this is an opportunity to connect our mind and our body and our spirit. So I'd like to start with the daily word, and today's phrase is self-expression. I give expression to my divine nature. My life is full. When I receive a gift, I may be surprised by the giver's thoughtfulness, maybe dazzled by the wrapping paper and colorful ribbons and excited, wondering about its contents. However, I have to open it to see what's inside. Now I'm going to change my to our. Our divine identity is perhaps our most precious gift. It's not enough just to know that we have it. We must express ourselves to reveal gifts to ourselves and everyone else. The love in our heart, the heights of our imagination, and the zeal that kindles our passion help take our place in the world as only we can. The world is made more complete through self-expression, through our self-expression. And as we step out boldly to share our gifts with the world, our life becomes more rich and full. So as I mentioned, Kairos is a way that we can connect with our mind, body, and spirit. And I want to have a little practice where we're focusing on our mind and body, because oftentimes we may be living from our neck up, evaluating, analyzing, but if we're not connected with our body, we're not living fully in the present. And so it's important that we nurture that mind-body connection. So I'm going to be guiding a brief practice where we're focused on our body and focused on our body with curiosity instead of judgment, compassion instead of criticism. So I'm going to invite you to be in a comfortable position if you aren't already. Maybe feet grounded gently on the floor, hands resting wherever they're comfortable. Remember, this is an invitation, this practice. You always have the choice. So I'm going to invite you to take a deep breath in perhaps through the nose, and a full exhale out the mouth. You may want to close your eyes or gently lower your gaze. This can help with the mind-body connection. I'm going to invite you first to bring awareness to your feet, perhaps wiggling the toes, just feeling that sensation. Now bring awareness to your lower legs, knees, thighs, noticing what's present. And now gently bringing your awareness to your hips, to your abdomen, to your back, to your chest, to your arms and your hands, to your neck, to your face, and the crown of your head. And now the invitation is to gently scan the body. You're not evaluating, but you're noticing. Perhaps feeling any tension in the body, seeing if it's possible to release it. Perhaps noticing ease. Perhaps there's a neutral sensation. Just tuning into the body and noticing if there's anything that your body would want to say to you in this moment. What would it be? Viewing your body as a loyal friend. As Shauna Shapiro has noted, that what we practice grows stronger. So the question is, what do we want to practice? What is it that we want to grow? So as we bring this practice to a close, you may want to bring some gentle movement to the body. Again, wiggling the fingers and toes, maybe gently moving the head from side to side. Opening the eyes if they've been closed whenever you're ready. And there's a quote that I'd like to share with you from Martha Graham. You may know Martha Graham was an American modern dancer, teacher, choreographer, whose style, referred to the Graham technique, reshaped the dance world and is still taught in academies worldwide. She stated, "There is a vitality, a life force, an energy, a quickening that is translated through you into action. And because there is only one of you in all time, this expression is unique. And if you block it, it will never exist through any other medium and will be lost." So one additional note that I'll share with you from Mary Oliver, one of my favorite American poets. Tell me, what is it that you plan to do with your one wild and precious life? Namaste.
You know, y'all just sit back and relax because I got a story to tell you. It's a pretty long one, too. It's called The Blind Man and the Elephant. It was 6 men of Hindustan, to learning much inclined, who went to see the elephant, though all of them were blind. They each be observant, observation might satisfy his mind. The first approached the elephant, and happening to fall against his broad and sturdy side, at once began to bawl, "God bless me, but the elephant is very much like a wall." The second, feeling of the tusk, cried, "Oh, what have we here? So very round and smooth and sharp. 'Tis me, it's mighty clear. This wonder of an elephant is very like a spear." The third approached the animal, and happening to take the squirmy trunk within his hands, thus boldly up and spake, "I see," quoth him, "the elephant is very like a snake." The fourth reached out his eager hand and felt about the knee. "What must this wondrous beast is like is very plain," he said, "'Tis clear enough the elephant is very like a tree." The fifth, who chanced to touch the ear, said, "The blindest man, can I tell you what this resembles most? Deny the fact who can. That marvel of an elephant is very like a fan." The sixth no sooner had begun about the beast to grope, that seizing on the swinging tail, that fell within his scope. "I see," quoth him, "the elephant is very like a rope." And so these men of Hindustan disputed loud and long, each in his own opinion, exceeding stiff and strong. Though each was partly in the right, they were all in the wrong.
I felt like we had a Dr. Seuss moment. That was awesome. I really love that. Thank you so much. That was beautifully read. Oh my, it's running away. How's everybody feeling? Good. Awesome. Okay. I've got a little spiel, and then we've got an activity. Are we ready? Okay. So today we begin our third week of our Interconnected series. We've been learning that we are braided together. We hang upon one another. And we're tied up in each other in this web of life. And the more time I spend with this topic, the more complex it becomes. I hold the sacred truth of our interconnectedness really close to my heart. It's one of the most beautiful parts of life, in my opinion. But I realize that there's a lot of this to learn, so it's been really fun to spend a little extra time this month in this, so thank you for indulging me and coming along on this journey. In week 1, we celebrated our interdependence on Interdependence Day, and we learned from the hummingbird, small and fierce, that the smallest of actions can change everything. Last week, we explored why the sky is far away and how careless overconsumption disconnects us from each other and from the earth. And today we'll be pulling back the veil of the illusion of individualism. And we're using our sacred text that was written so beautifully, the 6 blind men and the elephant. Tom introduced this story to me some years back, and it quickly became a favorite. There have been many times where I felt like I could run into a situation and I'm positive that I know what's going to happen there, and lo and behold, I don't. I always need the perspectives of others to have a full grasp and understanding of things. I find it really interesting that each of us can be correct in our perspectives, but when we assume that ours is the only one that's right, that is when things get terribly wrong. So raise your hand if you've ever watched a movie with someone and then you were discussing it after and it was like you guys watched different movies entirely. Yeah, okay. What about when you go to an art exhibit and you're enthralled with this piece of work and lo and behold, your friend hated it and thought it was awful? It happens. What about when you hear negative stories about someone from one person's perspective and when you meet them, lo and behold, they're lovely? Has that happened? Yeah, that happened to me recently. What we experience and perceive, it's not the complete story. And our stories are shaped by other people's stories, so there's a lot of confusion sometimes. The lens through which we see and navigate through the world is created by the people who raised us, the ideas who shaped us, and every single one of us has a unique perspective. So your perspective will always be right and valid for you. And you're the only one that's meant to hold that truth. I think it's important to keep this in mind because I think we can feel threatened at times and scared and insecure when our experiences and opinions are not agreed upon. It feels like any type of pushback is an attack, but it's not. The pushback is simply a reminder that who you are speaking to has lived a life not like your own, that they have been shaped by things unknown to you. I titled today's conversation The Illusion of Individualism because I think that it is indeed an illusion. An illusion that is keeping us from our connected nature and allowing us to think that defending an idea or an opinion is a worthy cause and an excuse for violence. And it's not. Individualism tells me I am who I am because of me and my success, my well-being, my survival. It all hinges on my worth, my choices, and my ability to surpass others. That all I have is mine because I earned it. This mindset teaches us that connection is an option, that truth is something to be owned, and that independence is more noble than interdependence. And I have questions about that. We do not belong to ourselves. We belong to one another. There is no you without me, and there is no me without you. Truth is not something to be owned, it is collective and collaborative. On the next slide, Barbara Holmes says that we are being called beyond the myth of individualism to the reality of communal life, and I believe that this is true. We are not designed to live this life alone, and I find a lot of relief in that. So, on the next slide, I'll be inviting my victims up. Come, victims. We're doing something fun. And I've asked the band to stay up to play us a little theme music, so you guys play at your leisure. So we will be, I wanted to bring this story to life a little bit, if that's okay with you guys, and have a little bit of extra fun, yeah? We're not very excited. Is it okay if we have a little bit extra fun? Great. Come on out. I know. It's chaos. It's madness. So, it's not a competition. No need to compete. So, these are going to be our 4 blind women, since we had no men volunteer. These are our 4 blind women. And I have an item inside of a bag that I would like them to touch and see if they can decipher what it is. Now I'll ask for the 4 of you to turn around because I will show you all since they are the only ones that are blind. Okay. So I need you all to ooh and ah, but do not say what it is, okay? Okay, so my blind volunteers, you can now turn back around and place one hand over your eyes. And I'm trusting that you cannot see anything. I'm going to bring you the bag, and you are going to touch on this mystery item. And yes, it is obvious that it is a plushie, but I'd like to know what plushie it is, okay? So, you're gonna close your eyes. You're gonna pick one thing about the item and hold that in your brain, okay? One observation, all right? We got it? Okay. Great. Excellent. And the song is, you can see clearly now the rain is gone because they're blind. Okay, now we'll start with apparently the winner already, Amy. Tell me the one thing that you felt about this item.
Only one thing?
Only one.
It had lots of protrusions.
All right. Miss Helona, what did you observe?
She's not wrong.
Okay.
And I felt a short ear and a squatty leg.
A squatty leg and a short ear and protrusions. Okay, this is weird. All right. What did we feel, Miss Debbie?
Something very soft
Very soft.
and an ear.
And an ear. Okay, so it has ears and it's soft. What'd you say again? Protrusions. Ear and a squatty leg. You think they're close? Does it sound like they're building what we saw? Kind of. Okay. All right, Miss Lady. What you see?
I thought it was squishy.
Squishy. Anything else?
Well, it seemed to have length to it. It wasn't just one thing. It was spread out somewhere, like a piece of dough.
Like a piece of dough. This is the best day of my life.
And I feel like we could have made a better guesstimate.
no,
if we
no.
had blindfolds
No.
and then touched it with both hands.
We don't get to pick how we're blind. Sorry. Okay. So, I need a quick guess. What do you think it is? What animal?
A ladybug.
A ladybug. Okay.
Pig.
A pig. That was pretty close. What do we think?
I thought too, a pig.
Okay. What you think?
A snake.
This is awesome. Okay, so I thought this would bring our fairy tale to life a little bit, did it not? Okay, because they couldn't see it, but we could see it, and their descriptions weren't technically wrong. They were kind of right. Do you guys want to see what it is? Okay, a round of applause for Franklin! It's a triceratops. A big round of applause for our blind men. And thank you, band. You're free to go until later. Thanks, y'all, for entertaining that. I wasn't sure if it would work, but that was awesome. Okay, so it's kind of, how often are we grasping at a random thing blindly? And how often are we kind of awkwardly trying to like wrap our minds around something, but we've only got our own perspective. But when we combine the four of theirs, they actually got pretty close. A snake and a pig and a ladybug together makes a dinosaur. Yes. So I want to really kind of dive into this a little bit more, because as fun as it is, it gets a little crazy. So let's look at the science behind it, shall we? You know I like science, so we're going to dive right into it. And Helona, I made notes just for you. So on the next slide, we're going to learn a little bit more about perspective and why how we feel is shaped by what we think, right? What we're engaging with, how we interpret things, they're shaped by what's going on in our minds. So your perspective is a mental construction. It's not a perfect reflection. Your perspective is not reality itself. It is your interpretation of reality, which is pretty cool. So there's reality, and then there's the story we tell ourselves about reality. And that interpretation is built from your past experiences, your cultural background, your emotional state, your traumas, your education. The list is really, really long. Neuroscience calls this top-down processing. I feel like that's something y'all are familiar with, right? Top-down processing. Your brain doesn't start from scratch every time it sees something. It's trying to help. It anticipates. It's looking and using what you already have and what you already believe to fill in the blanks. If you expect the world to be dangerous, you'll notice threats. If you believe that people can't be trusted, you'll notice all the betrayal. And if you've only seen part of the elephant, your brain will swear that it knows the whole thing. So perspective is never pure, it's personal. And that's not a bad thing at all. I think it's good. No one will ever experience this life the way that you do. And this is something that Cynthia mentioned in her meditation as well. And I didn't tell her what we were talking about today. But how you experience the world is completely unique to you. No one will ever experience the world the way that you do. Each of us is a unique cosmic masterpiece made of star stuff. But this grand uniqueness, it can leave us a little limited at times. The idea that our perspective is shaped by our experience is something I learned about when I was getting my degree in critical race theory. To help us understand more about how people can exist and support flawed systems, which we have flawed systems here in our country, we know that. But I wanted to understand more about it, so my professor offered me this. We were taught to think of the mind as a web, and at the center of your web lies all the things that were sown into you as a child. Ideas, opinions, fears, truths, and half-truths, sometimes lies. And they rest at your core. Thank you for laughing at that. As you grow, all that you learn is built upon this core. You don't have a choice. It all stems from the center. So if you're a child and you're raised in an environment that is loving, with the understanding that the world is a wonderful place and full of opportunity, all that you will come to learn and know, the God that you come to learn and know, the morals that you come to learn and know, they will all be connected to that at your core. But perhaps you're raised in an environment that is complex, perhaps unstable. And you're raised with the understanding that resources are scarce, that people are out to take what's yours, and some people are superior to others. Then that, all your morals, your God, your ideas, those will all be based from that center. So we're blameless in this. But it kind of helped me understand how people end up where they end up, right? It's kind of helpful. On the next slide, it gets a little deeper. The brain prefers certainty over complexity. Again, it's trying to help. Our brains do so much. Say thanks, brain. Like, my goodness, she does so much work. So the human brain is uncomfortable with ambiguity. We're wired to resolve tension quickly, to pick a side and stick with it. So we come up against something new, and our brains are like, great, this seems a little bit more familiar than that. Whether or not that makes sense, your brain's going to do it anyway. So the tendency of our brain's cognitive efficiency system, it tries to make things work easier. It tries to simplify and categorize so we don't feel overwhelmed. But guess what? Truth is rarely simple. So our brains might be doing us a little disservice here, huh? We live in a world of multiple truths, layered experiences. Our wiring, it chooses simplicity over nuance, and that can sometimes get a little sticky. On the next slide, it gets even deeper. I know, we're going like in on the science, right? Who knows about the confirmation bias? It's a big one. It's a big one. So once we've decided what our truth is, and that truth is based upon the lens that only we were given from the lenses of the people who come before us. So it's already getting a little foggy. Our confirmation bias then kicks in. This is your brain's tendency to only notice evidence that supports your belief and ignore all things that contradict it. And this happens with or without your consent. It is a powerful bias. It affects how we interpret scripture, how we watch the news, how we react in relationships, how we engage in activism, how we treat a stranger. It's how two people can witness the same thing and walk away with a completely different story. I had a friend tell me about a strange experience she had when she went to go see Wicked. Who saw Wicked? Oh, good. I didn't see it, but I heard it was good. She was delighted, super excited. She got all dressed up in her all green alphabet outfit, got her blanket and her popcorn, was ready. She bought her tickets months in advance. She was elated. At the end of the film, she was chatting with some people that ended up in her section about how wonderful the movie was and how it allowed these really complex things like racism and classism to be discussed in a more light environment. They were having a great time. Lo and behold, a gentleman nearby overheard. And he came to join their conversation, and he did not actually agree with the takeaway that they had. He said that he saw a fight for power, a battle to keep things pure, and to keep those who do not belong at bay. He said the film proved why diversity ultimately ends in chaos. I know, kind of nuts. So based on their lenses, that I don't know anything about, but that I know they have, right? We know they have the lens. Based on their lenses, I'm sure they were both true. And she was huffing and upset as she retold this story, and all I could do was giggle at how offended she was. And I said to her, did you ask him how that understanding of the story relates to his life? Of course, she said no. She was so upset that they had disagreed that they ended their conversation, the group left entirely, and they walked away all frustrated, holding only their opinion in hand. If you've never seen the play, and I've never seen the play, but I know a little bit about it, I do know that both of these messages are there. So both of them, correct in their own way, were also both terribly wrong, but together they actually had the wider conversation. That this was a play that was a reflection of real life. That this was a play that exhibited human fear, ideas, structures that look much like the ones that we have in our world. Curious. On the next slide, perspective without connection leads to division. And this is where the danger comes. When we hold our limited perspective in isolation or hold our perspectives only with those who will agree with them, we start to believe that anyone who sees things differently is wrong and dangerous or even evil. That's the root of division. Not difference and not disagreements, but disconnection. Surprise. When you have no curiosity about someone else's lens, you become rigid. We become defensive and reactive. And society starts to break into fragments. We see racial bias is rooted in a dominant perspective that's treated as universal. Religious conflict emerges when one tradition claims sole truth. Political polarization deepens when we isolate ourselves in echo chambers that only reflect what we already believe. On the next slide, Rabbi Jonathan Sacks says that no one creed has a monopoly on spiritual truth. No one civilization encompasses all the spiritual, ethical, and artistic expressions of mankind. I loved how straightforward this was, to the point. He's saying no matter what the subject is, no one can claim to have the whole truth. We all have pieces of truth, valid pieces of truth, but it's not the whole thing. We have an incomplete story. So the more we separate, the more we distort the more distorted our individual and collective perspectives become. What starts as a partial truth is turned into a weapon. Who's seen this happen in real time? Yeah, I've seen it happen in real time. And it never ends well, does it? Like never. So this is exactly what happens in our sacred text, in a cute way, right? Each man's limited truth becomes the point of argument, not a doorway into deeper understanding. And they missed the mystery that was right in front of them. Curiosity and collaboration were missing. And so each of them walked away with a piece of the truth rather than an understanding of what an elephant actually was. As Reverend Dr. Jackie Lewis reminds us on the next slide, each of us holds a piece of the puzzle. And when we come together, the picture becomes clear, and that is the miracle of community. So I think the science behind how our perspectives are built is really important. It helps explain why we defend them as if they are complete truth. It allows us to kind of zoom out and look at things like the curious detectives. I know we all are. And I know some of you at some point have had a conversation with someone where there's a difference of opinion. And at some point in the conversation, it goes from a dialogue to a stalemate. People start getting a little fussy. Or maybe it starts out hostile in the first place, right? Oftentimes we get to a point where the conversation becomes circular. Both parties are trying to convince each other that I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. But everyone's wrong. When we understand that our minds are creatures of habit, shaped by environment and stories and cultures, it really kind of becomes easier to see why we don't always see eye to eye. And perhaps agreeing is not the goal. Perhaps the goal is getting to a point where you can put down your opinion long enough to be able to validate someone else's. Perhaps the goal is to be able to say, I hear you, and I see how this is true for you. On the next slide, we're taking a little deeper look into our beautiful elephant. The story begins by telling us that there are 6 blind men who like to learn. Because the man cannot see, when they hear the elephant comes to town, they say, great, we're going down. We're going to go check it out. Each one touches the animal, but no two on the same part. One holds the trunk, another a tusk, a knee, an ear, a tail, and its side. And I found it so funny that these were men who said they liked to learn. And yet they were content to use their singular experience to define something that they had never encountered before. So they were determined to learn for themselves rather than learn together. And that sounded a lot like individualism to me, huh? Every time I read this story, something new jumps out at me. This time I realized that they were almost in a race to see who could define the creature first. The creature never asked to be defined. And they each used their own personal experience to define it. One man who had experience with the feeling of the bark on a tree, which is a very distinct texture. He touched the elephant's knee and he felt a similarity. So he took his unique understanding of trees and his brain mixed it with the desire to make sense of the whole experience. And then his confirmation bias said, you know what? An elephant is like a tree and I know trees, so therefore I know elephants. You see how quick that happened? Really easy. And it seems harmless. But what did it leave him with? An incomplete story. Their inability to hear one another was the problem. He defended his point. The others defended their points. And it wasn't that they were wrong. Their desire to simplify and understand wasn't even wrong. The confirmation bias wasn't wrong. The disconnection was the problem. On the last slide, Margaret Wheatley tells us that truth is too large to be known in isolation. And I'll invite the band to come back up. And that's what I think we see here in this story. In their isolation, none of these men had the truth. It was much too big for them to grasp on their own. Not one of them could wrap their arms around the elephant in its entirety and feel it in its wholeness. And not one of them asked to hear another's perspective. And this is why communities matter. This is why stories matter. This is why a big, big table with enough seats for everyone matters. It takes all of us to see the elephant. It takes all of us to grasp at what the divine may be. It takes all of us to find the truths that exist in this world. We are meant to do this life together. So today, I ask you, loved ones, what are you defending that perhaps you can put down for just a moment in order to hold a different truth? What would it look like to validate another and be with them in community, rather than brushing off their experience simply because it does not align with your own? And I invite you to imagine, to dream what it would look like if all of our truths were able to swirl in interconnectedness. What reality might we find? Amen.
Need somebody help. That's the sounding line. Help. You know I need someone help. When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now these days are gone, I'm not so selfish, sure. Now I changed my mind, I've opened up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me? And now my life has changed in oh so many ways. My independence seems to vanish in the haze. But every now and then I feel so insecure. I know that I just teach a life I've never done before. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me? When I was younger, so much younger than today, I never needed anybody's help in any way. But now these days are gone, I'm not so selfish, sure. Now I changed my mind, I've opened up the door. Help me if you can, I'm feeling down. And I do appreciate you being around. Help me get my feet back on the ground. Won't you please, please help me, help me, help me. Ooh.
I think I heard like a collective like, whoa, whenever they started singing. I'm sorry, it scared y'all. I ended on a serious note, and then it was like, bang. So if you'll rise for our benediction, if you're able and willing. Beloved ones, I invite you today to go in pieces, knowing that you are a vital part of the bigger picture, and so is everybody else. Know that you do not have to defend or protect. You can mend and connect. You can reach a hand of compassion and camaraderie to your fellow man in pursuit of something much bigger than yourself. And perhaps one day, we'll all be able to see the elephant in the room.
Nailed it.
Love you guys. Bye.